Welcome back to the channel and some more Star Citizen Universe news. Now on this week's Around the Verse, Chris Roberts was joined by special guest, the always popular Tony Zurovic. Now Tony told us what he's been working on recently, and I think I'll leave it to Tony to do the talking.
Still doing quite a bit of work on the subsumption editor, and we've also been converting a representative set of the initial mission scenarios to this new format, and that's been going quite well. We're finally starting to see some real validation of what we've been saying all along, which is that this is going to allow designers to craft this type of logic much more quickly, and that's going to lead to a lot more mission diversity and ultimately fun. I'm also pretty focused on the solar system services at the moment.
So by solar system services, you mean missions, shopping, and procedural planet commodities?
Exactly. The first one of these out the door will be the shopping service, and it's going to control inventory, prices, and demand levels for all the shops within a system. It's also going to hook up to the mission service so that low inventory levels will automatically result in the creation of missions to reverse the trend. The mission service is also really interesting because, along with a lot of other work that's occurred, it's going to allow us to start instantiating a lot of dynamic content for the game. This is all dramatically different than what we've had in the game to date, which has always been much more static in nature. I should also mention that the guys in Frankfurt recently created a really useful real-time visualizer for the subsumption logic, and that's allowing designers to iterate much more quickly than they otherwise would be able to, and that's going to pay some huge dividends in the future.
That's cool. That's right, and we'll actually hear more about the subsumption mission visualizer in our Frankfurt studio update.
Now Brian Chambers gave us a very detailed report on what they've been working on recently in Foundry 42 in Frankfurt. And here are the highlights of what he told us. Now Brian told us that the Frankfurt office is now up to 67 employees, and they mainly speak English for easy communication with the rest of CIG. Now Brian also showed us some continuing work on the bearing, class and Werner weapons, and also a new ballistic shotgun weapon from Kostak Arms. Some very nice weapons there. He also told us about some new weapons for ships. It's a new system for weapon modularity for ships, so that should be pretty interesting. Now he showed us some ongoing work for the cinematics for Squadron 42, but unfortunately they can't show us too much at the moment because they don't want to spoil the story, but work is progressing very well, and it's nice to see some of the scenes here, even if it's on the monitors. Now there was a quick look at a prototype for a system where it shows how the player would behave when he's short of oxygen. Obviously if you get a hull breach you're going to be leaking oxygen, so you're going to be in a bit of trouble. Anyway, early work there. Now there's continuing work on the procedurally generated planets, and at the moment they're working on getting the cloud technology right, and you're probably like me, you know, you can't wait till you can land on one of these planets. They've also now got the technology that when they create alien planets, that the clouds can be different colours. So that's going to be tremendously exciting to see. Now Brian also showed us a solar system editor. Obviously this is a system they need because there's going to be 100 solar systems, I believe, ultimately in the game. And they've got this editor, and it can now actually put the planets into their proper planetary orbits. Obviously that's going to be really exciting. Now even more exciting is the work they're doing on the moons which orbit Crusader, Yela, Daymar and Ceylan. Now what we're looking at here is an icy moon. Don't know if it's water ice, I guess it is, but as we can see we've got a character here walking across, and these environments really do look pretty breathtaking, and it's going to be really exciting to actually step foot on this icy moon. Pretty cold, I should imagine, as well. Now next up was a couple of interesting tools Brian showed us. Something called the Super GUID, and that's to do with the mission logic and object container system, how to create missions, dynamic missions in the game, I think, and also a AI subsumption visualizer, and that's like a tool where they can actually go in to adjust the NPC parameters of their brains, I guess, in the game. So interesting tools, very technical, and I'm sure Tony Zurovic was very excited about those earlier as well. So a lot of work going on with AI and subsumption, and sometime in the future the guy next to me may well be given more of a brain and will be doing less of what he's doing now. Now this was a really bumper around the verse, and there was a long feature with Sean Tracy, Paul Rendell and Josh Herman, where they talked about character creation and how you're going to get to eventually customize your character in game. Now basically Sean, Paul and Josh showed us how the player characterization tools are based off the ship customization tools to do with the item port system. Now they showed a lot of variations of character clothing during this piece, and as it's fairly long, it's probably best that if you're interested you can check out the entire piece yourself, because it is certainly very interesting and gives us an insight into the level of customization we'll be able to do to our characters in the future. Now they also showed a video of work by CIG's partner Free Lateral on a character creation tool for the head, where there's all these different customizable and unique player heads. Now I believe they showed a longer version of this at the presentation at the recent GDC conference. As expected, the production scheduled report is out, and the next patch will be 2.6.2. Now this is really just a bug fix, but does contain some new features like the multiplayer mega map, or the quick loading feature as I like to call it, and also some important fixes for users who are experiencing problems with different monitor display ratios. So if you've got a 21:9 or 16:10, if you've got one of those, hopefully the game should be fixed for those resolutions. Now from Citizens of the Stars, we've got some late breaking news.
Can you substantiate recent rumors about mining coming in Alpha 3.0?
Yes, true. Next.
Well, interesting news about mining there. Now, the other day I was flying my caterpillar, and to be honest, I was just taking the caterpillar out so I could get some nice shots from the tractor beam compartment. And I was joined on the ship by just a couple of random players. I didn't have a clue who they were, but because I was basically just going to be standing still like a statue, you know, for footage to be used for my green screen, I said to them, you go ahead and fly the ship. Anyway, they seem to have quite an adventure. Now, I'm not quite sure what they was getting up to, but whatever it was, it seemed pretty spectacular, and it did provide me with some pretty awesome footage for me to green screen myself into the game. Anyway, if you ever see me in game flying one of my bigger ships, do feel free to come on board. And if you see me just standing like a statue, you know what I'm doing. Well, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, and also it will help the channel a lot if you could subscribe. So until next time, wherever you're watching out in that big universe, you take care, and I'll see you all sometime soon. Bye for now.